Yo, what up? What's happening? Hold on, y'all. Let me get my life together. What's the move? What's the move, everybody? All right, I'm straight. I'm in here. Prepper 101, what up? BP, what it do? Shanna, Erica, fat guy with guns. R. Scott, what's up, my brother? Hot Tub Tony, what's happening, man? Skilly, what it do? Who else in here, man? What's good with everybody? Asian Wick. That's my boy right there. What's happening? Billy up in here. Coy, what's up, man? Ramsey Jizzle, E Money, crazy. Daniel from Arizona. What's up, Daniel from Arizona? Johnny Clyde, Patrick. What's up, man? I'm just missing names. I'm a little slow. Lawrence, what's up? If I miss you, man, just speak again, and I'll figure it out. It's on me. Blame me. Chosen to be. What's up? DL, what's happening? AK Shane, what it do? John Moss, what's happening? I'm looking at I see DL, and I don't know why I just want to say it different. I don't know. Don't pay me no mind. Bulletproof, what's happening? 2A Mate TV, what's the word? What's the word? Richard, my main man, Rich. Mantis, Rich, that is. Gavin Smith, what up, man? Same OG. What's good, everybody? Listen, y'all getting in here fast, man. New York City, what's up? It's the move. That's my real friend right there, New York City, man. That's my boy. Telling y'all that right now. I ain't ashamed to say it. Devil Row, what's up, man? What's the move, man? I kind of, low key miss y'all a little bit, man. It's been a minute. It's been a few days. We ain't had a chance to chop it up. So, it's good to be back live again. John Moss, what's up, man? In lieu of everything that's been going on. Matter of fact, before we even get going, talking, man, I want to shout out everybody who hit me up on the 4th just to check on me. Man, that was dope. I'm gonna tell y'all. Now, I have a lot of fun doing this YouTube stuff. I ain't gonna lie. I tell y'all all the time. Alex, what's up? Tap in. What it do? Um, I'm really about family, real world first. I do. I have fun on YouTube without a question. And I learn a lot, and I hope that we give out a lot of information. But sometimes there's those moments where you be like, "Yo, that was dope. That was dope." Um, and man, I got a lot of emails, text messages, and just people checking to see if uh, if I was okay when they heard about what happened here. So that was dope, man. I appreciate y'all for that. So now that I got that out the way, please hit the like button for me. Now it's been I feel like it's been 2 3 weeks since I've been on here. Can y'all please hit the like button for me? Alex, I think I spoke to you already, but if I didn't, what's going on, young fella? Vision Omega, what up? Real deal, what's the move, man? What is the move with your real deal? I hope everybody had a dope weekend, a long weekend. Um, you know, we was okay. Highland Park. I want to, send my condolences to all of those who were affected by that incident. That's probably about 25 minutes or so away from me. Jason T, what's up? The DMV Bison, what's good? Let me get it right. I just got him. Y'all, shout out to y'all because y'all definitely checked on the whole family. Y'all was hitting me up, man. Are you and your family okay? I was like, yes. Thank God. We weren't there. We wasn't at that, event. Nola Saint, what it do, man? What's the move? Southern Belle, what's up? What's the move? Please hit the like button for your boy, man. We're gonna talk and chop it up tonight. Definitely, man. Philly got crazy, New York got crazy. It's a lot, but we're gonna talk about it. That's what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna talk about, quite a few things. Anthony Hicks, what's up? It's good. Ghetto, what up, cuz? What's the move? So, I'm gonna tell y'all something I'm gonna start doing. I'm thinking next week, perhaps. Which is I'm gonna start doing some stuff over on different platforms like Facebook. There's a lot of people over on Facebook. I know a lot of people don't go to Facebook no more. I'm one of them. I really don't be over there that much. But there's an audience over there. There's a two-way audience over there, and I plan to try to tap into that audience. Jason T, what's going on, dog? What's the move? Yep, you are right, real deal. That's definitely a high profile area. So we're gonna go ahead and get to it, man. Let me see how we looking on the likes. Let me see what's going on. What in the monkey pox? Oh man, we gotta hit the like button. This is terrible. Well, it ain't that bad. I've seen worse. But if you're just coming in and ain't get a chance to do it yet, please hit the like button for me. That would be amazing. I'd appreciate it. Um, so we can go ahead and get going. I really want everybody to be active in this tonight. I don't want to fuss. I just want to talk. I want to see how we can inform one another. That would be past awesome if we can do that. I really appreciate it, man. Triggerholic, what's happening? I'm looking at his icon and say, "What's up, Trigger?" I know what he really wanted to say. So that was just funny. I just heard him. I heard that in my head. Jason Ewing, what up, man? You're right, Jason. The Ewing's in the building. Y'all, please hit the like button. Please, I'm asking nicely to hit that like button for me if you have not had a chance to do it. I greatly appreciate it, man. Kevy Kev, what up? Ain't nothing to it, player. Ain't nothing. Let me get my partner. What's up, boy?
Yeah, what up?
What's going on with you, man?
Nothing.
How was your day, brother?
It was good. I had a good day. Wasn't bad.
How was your weekend? How was your fourth?
Weekend was good, man. Had a good, peaceful weekend. Just in spite of all the crazy stuff going on around everywhere, it was a good weekend. Everybody was safe, so that was important.
So tonight we are going to address some of that stuff and see because
What up,
I want to say this before we even take another step.
Mm.
And this is really coming from my heart because
Southern Belle.
I could have truly. This is not a game. Highland Park, Illinois, and I know it's a lot more going on than just Highland Park, and Lord knows I wish none of this type of stuff ever went on, but It's not very far from me at all. All right. And I was thinking, like, man, if we were looking for something to do with my grandbabies, the family, my wife, everybody, if we were really looking for something to do,
Locked in.
and I'm looking around, because thank goodness there's, right here in the little town that I live in,
Mm-hmm.
has its own festivities. Um, but Highland Park is not a far fetch, right? It would have absolutely been a thought.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know, Highland Park is a real upscale, for lack of a better
Mm-hmm.
term, part of Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of bread up there, right? I mean, like a lot of probably um, your favorite athletes from Chicago, or
The median household income there is $150,000 a year.
yeah, facts. So Highland Park is some bread up there. But that would have been a place that I would have felt relatively safe going to, taking my babies and being in that environment, right? That's why this type of stuff scares the absolute hell out of me,
Rock.
right? Now, with that being said, I don't know. I don't even be knowing how to feel. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to feel, what to think. And somebody said something to me. Somebody walked up to me today and said what I thought was the weirdest thing. He goes, yo, that was real messed up what Buddy did up there in Highland Park. I was like, yeah, real fucked up. That's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, man, that's crazy. That makes it, that don't make it no better for you guys, do it?
Mm-hmm.
Guys, you guys would be gun guys, right? Because he knows I'm a gun guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of looked at him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I go, that notion that guns are dangerous and not the people using them is weird to me, right?
It's ridiculous.
And I go to him, I say, did you say that about the car dealerships? And he was like, what you mean? I was like, you don't remember the dude went through the crowd of people in the truck? You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
He ran in all them people. Did you say the same thing?
No, he didn't.
You didn't, right?
No, he didn't.
I think people. He said you should have told me to say it different. I think people had this weird thought process, and they look at it. People look at this differently, and this is why I want to hear all of our thoughts
Mm-hmm.
on this, because there's people saying, "Damn," and I'm talking about the non-2A people.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, see what happened. This is why we need to get rid of guns. This is why guns are bad. Feel me?
Yeah, but because I was watching different things today, and that's the only thing that they do that with is a gun. They don't do that with anything else. They,
Fact.
they don't. Now with cars, now with knives. If somebody uses a bat, uses a hammer, I don't get it. They don't say that. That's like the only thing that can be considered
Wait, what up?
dangerous is a gun. When it's not true. It's just something people are conditioned to think that way. That's what it is. They're just conditioned that way.
Yeah, and
What up, Blaze?
it's bad, right? Like, so then you have the other side, which is how I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just feels like it's more reason to get armed, to be
It
armed.
is. And because the fact is you can't. I mean, in all honesty, you can't. There isn't a way to prevent anything like that. There isn't. Someone decides that they're gonna do something, because I don't believe it's that they're crazy. They make a conscious decision that they hate something or whatever, and they decide that they're gonna do it. There's nothing you can do about that. The whole lone wolf thing. That's the only thing you can do is the only thing that the way that I see, the only thing you can do is in the midst of it, if you can try to mitigate as much damage as you can. And that's how I look at it. And by everybody just sitting around not being able to try to effectively do something with that, it doesn't help anything. It doesn't. You can't. There's no way to stop that. There's gonna be people who do evil stuff. That's just the way of the world.
Yep, I agree. Um, and I just thought about that, man. Like I was like, damn, you know, I thought about New York, the New York incident.
Mm-hmm.
That just seeing that video and how helpless, those initial victims are. How
Right.
helpless everybody is in that situation when they caught off guard, but just thinking of how helpless those people are, and then there's nobody there around that's armed and can defend themselves or try
Right.
to help the situation. You never know. I think that
So mechanic, Mrs. Ghetto.
I'm encouraging everybody, man. And I'm saying this flat out. I'm encouraging everybody. Step it up. Miss Ghetto, how you doing? KCO4, what up? Philly Slow, what's good? Um,
You know
you
the
step it
notion
up,
of
man.
the
Step
notion
it up.
of the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. It's a true notion. It's true because if you got a guy who's just running around shooting everybody and nobody can do anything to stop him, I mean, he's just like you say, it's like a lamb to the slaughter. Being armed doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna make it out of that confrontation,
Facts.
but it gives you a better chance of being able to survive if you can stop that. Those people don't want a hard target; they want a soft target. And when there's a two-way range and not just one, they change their mind.
Yeah, you're right.
Just it's just true.
Um, that's a great question, Javi. Uh,
You know, Philly slow.
yeah, if somebody would have started shooting back, he would have had to move around.
Right. It would have made him change. It would have made him change his mind about what he was doing.
And I don't know, man. It's hard to speak on it not being there. 2A sister, I got you. You know, I
What up,
love it.
to his sister?
Right? But she picked the finest times to have the weirdest conversations with me. I'm gonna have to make sure you got my number or my email, because that's the easier way to communicate. You say something to me on here, it'd be gone. I'm gonna ask a better question. Well, not a better question, but a different question that's been plaguing me for a couple days. I watched on the news. I saw when the police caught up with this kid,
Mm-hmm.
and from what I saw, from what the news camera showed, it was probably one of the most peaceful and laid back arrests I've ever seen.
It was
As a
Paul.
matter of fact, I saw the same thing happen in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the dude just standing up there with the police.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody calm, like bro ain't just killed multiple people.
Right.
But the young brother in Ohio
Yep. What up, Joe? What up, Ward?
running from the police, and they shoot him 60 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah, it is unacceptable. What up, refrigerator cute?
I'm so lost on that. I can't. Boy, can I not wrap my mind around this.
Just it's a bias, man. It is what it is. There's a now, sometimes I don't even know how to put it in words, but there's a bias when it comes to that where it's I mean, and if I have to
Talk
be
it in the hot tub.
if I have to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
human about what if I tell if I have to be human about it, if I'm looking at someone that looks like me, I'm more sympathetic or empathetic to that person and how I deal with them. And if I don't value that particular person, I'm going to treat them a certain way. Because everybody who saw that knows that that's overkill. Everybody knows that. When a person was, I watched that young man was on the ground and had already been shot. Who knows how many times? They just kept shooting. He was down. He wasn't getting back up. There's no way to explain that away. And then the department, the Akron Police Department, said that that was part of their protocol. That was part of their policy. That was fine. They didn't break policy by doing that.
I'm gonna say this. It's in my opinion. Everything I'm saying is my opinion.
Absolutely.
You got two things going on. You got one group that's been emboldened because if you look at the most recent mass shooters, their age range is around the same age range as a Kyle Rittenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
You got a whole segment of society that treats this man like a rock star.
Right.
He shoots up a couple people, whether however you feel about that case or not. And all that does when you celebrate that particular person, that same demographic,
mm-hmm.
Well, if he gets celebrated for shooting a bunch of people, not knowing the context of it, I should be able to do the same thing and get the same kind of treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you see.
Yeah, that's what happens too. They get treated the same exact. You see it, and it's like you didn't just like go wholesale slaughter a bunch of people, like you just like it was just normal. And they take you to Burger King and all types of other stuff.
That's what I was just finna say. You go back to Charleston, Dylan Roof. You treated at the Burger King, so they don't see repercussions. Yeah, they went to trial and everything, and they get locked up, but that's not the part that the media highlights. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole killer doing a media press like a rock star. Got a whole video game out about him shooting people.
Right.
You can't celebrate these people when they do it. You got to let them. If you're gonna let them off, you better let them fade out into obscurity. Because if not, you're gonna have a bigger problem on your hands.
Get a bunch of you basically create a bunch of copycats.
Exactly.
Can I chime in for a second on the standpoint from the Akron shooting from a police officer standpoint?
Please.
Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
All right, I'm a retired cop. I spent almost 16 years on the force. Okay. The Akron shooting, if you think about it, there was 8 officers that fired. Okay. Think about this. If they have an average of 15 rounds in their firearm, okay, and as a police officer, you are trained to stop the action. His action of running, if he still wasn't down, he was still running. They did not stop the action. Okay. For Tennessee versus Garner, a police officer in the course of his duties has how do I want to word this? He has a duty to act, and if you've committed a felony, and they're saying that there was a fire or a round shot off out of the car at them, and he's running, and they don't know he doesn't have the firearm. Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you get your point out, but I want to retort to that ASAP. Go ahead and get your point out.
Go ahead, Rich.
All right, so with Tennessee versus Garner, it says if there's a fleeing felon that has just committed a felony and you suspect he may commit another felony, obviously at some point they stated there was a firearm, that there was a shot fired supposedly, okay? I'm not saying there was or wasn't. I wasn't there. I'm saying supposedly, okay? So if that's the case, at the point he got out of the car and ran, they did not know there was a weapon involved, for sure or not. All they're going off of is the information given, because if you watch the body camera and the dispatch, they were yelling on the radio, a shot has been fired at us. So this is what these officers are basing their information off when they get there, and he takes off running. You see why this happened?
Okay.
You got 8 officers, 10 rounds. You're going to get close to 60. Well, 5 rounds, and you're going to get close to 60 rounds.
Let me jump in there, and I'm gonna retort every bit of that. Number one, they say he shot out the car. No evidence that a round was fired from the weapon. As a matter of fact, when they pulled the weapon, it was unloaded. Number two, how did he shoot out his car? His windows was up. He didn't shoot out the window, So did he stick his left hand out, or did he reach across the body and turn around and shoot? That's something that's not on the body camera, nor are they releasing that portion of the video. Number 3, you shot multiple rounds. So if your objective is to shoot till after the first couple shots, he dropped. Everything else was overkill. You don't shoot a fleeing felon. And number 3, and this is the point that everybody in the media glosses over. Ohio is a constitutional carry state. Therefore, him having a firearm was not illegal. Not at all. And this alleged round that was shot, none of the dash cam shows it because they're not releasing the dash cam suspiciously. Hey man, I respect the fact that you part law enforcement, but I'm calling bullshit on this whole Akron Police Department in this case.
Well, listen,
What precipitated him running? What was the initial charge? He did not commit a felony.
It was a traffic stop.
So you took a traffic stop, but yet, and I'm gonna juxtapose that to the killing in Highland Park, the murderer in Highland Park. You knew he had multiple firearms. You knew he shot 26 people. You knew he killed 6 people, and you did not fire one fucking shot. So I'm not going for it. Not from any law enforcement officer. That is complete bullshit, and that shows the bias in police departments nation fucking wide. You had a whole dude in Kentucky a week ago shot 3 fucking police officers from his fucking house, and they took his ass in alive peacefully. They beat him up a little bit, but you didn't shoot him, and you was totally justified to shoot him.
And again,
excuse, I'm not going for it. We're not going for that excuse no more.
I wasn't excusing it. I was giving you an example of, you're talking about the 60 rounds being shot. Okay. I never said that. Not one time out of my mouth did I say that they were justified in what they did. I was giving you a standpoint from what they were saying on the news media that supposedly happened. Why? Because you were asking why 60 rounds, and I was just giving you the training and why Akron is saying what they're saying.
Okay,
that's all I was saying.
Why was it the Highland Park mass shooter shot 90 fucking times?
Because there was a lot of officers out there.
Yeah, it was a whole lot of officers.
It was way more officers than the 8 that shot.
Officers are trained to do. They should have whacked him so fast.
Even I agree. The cat in Buffalo, the guy in Buffalo.
They should have lighted his ass up.
Yep,
man, we can go play this game for years and years and years.
My panel getting crowded. Let me get control. Skilly, I need everyone to tell me what they got going on as I bring people in. What's I saw your afro was out today too, brother, but we're not gonna
don't start that. That's what I got to cover.
It's a serious conversation. What's going on?
Man, I had this conversation with some people here at work, and the first thing they said was take the AR-15s and the AK-47s out of our hand and ban them, period. We always get into it when there's mass shootings here. And, you know, I'm a gun guy, so the first thing I say is, why take our guns? I said, the criminals ain't going to stop doing what they doing. So why take the guns out of our hands? So I always have this argument, should they ban the AR-15s and AKs with the people around here at my job? Because they're not gun nuts anymore. And I find it interesting every time a mass shooting hits.
No, that's fair. I get it. That happens everywhere though, because you got people that believe in what we believe in, and there's those that don't. So that's gonna continue to happen, man.
Oh yeah. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna jump off, put somebody else in here.
Hey, RGG, I've got to bounce, but I got 2 things. Do you mind if I throw them out there and then get out off of the feed?
Shoot.
All right. I'd like to announce to you guys here on the feed that Mantis would like to sponsor your YouTube feed. We will provide you product, and we would love to have the opportunity to sponsor a real gun guy.
A regular gun guy. Don't sponsor the wrong
regular gun guy. I'm sorry.
No, that's dope, man. That's dope.
So
let's make it happen.
All right.
Congratulations, bro.
Congratulations, R-Double.
Thank you. Appreciate
so I wanted to give you that one. My second one, the Highland Park shooting thing. This guy they knew he had issues. He had assaulted the family, from what I understand from a few police officers I know. The family didn't even have charges put on him. So had they did that we may have stopped this problem. The other part with these 90 officers, from what I read, he was at a high advantage point up on a building with cover. So there's no way their pistols possibly, okay, we'll say possibly, because I see you up there shaking your head, they possibly may not have been able to take this shooter out at a high altitude like that, okay, no, without injuring someone else. I'm being the devil's advocate here, okay?
When I'm talking about them, I'm talking about when they brought him in, because he's been arrested. The arrest is all on camera. They pulled up, the police surrounded the car. They didn't know if he had weapons in there. Not when he was doing the actual shooting. I understand that's chaos. But I'm talking about when he was arrested, he was surrounded, had the firearms in the car. You knew he had firearms in the car.
Yep. They said they put that when they put out the bolo or whatever they call it. They put it out that he was armed and dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they put that out.
So, and I'm not even arguing the fact that if they'd have done it to him, okay, I could possibly, in some stretch of imagine. No, I still couldn't justify shooting a man 60 fucking times, firing 90 fucking rounds.
I agree.
Emptied out multiple magazines in some cases. Or at least you emptied out a whole magazine on him. That's overkill in every sense of the word.
He was on the ground. He was on the ground. He was still getting
somebody immobilized. Yeah. When they're immobilized, that is what you're trained to do, to immobilize, to stop the threat.
And it was like 13 officers there. It just seems there's 13 armed officers wearing body armor and everything else, and you have to summarily execute this man like that.
Well, I watched
every single body cam. I watched every single one.
There was definitely a breakdown.
They were shooting in between other officers. They had officers stepping into other officers' lanes of fire.
Mm-hmm. There was definitely a breakdown in communication there, and a chain of command. So there's no doubt about that, and that's why the Akron police have said that their officers were wrong. So, but guys, have a wonderful evening. I just wanted to jump in and let you know about the sponsorship. I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful evening.
Peace, Rich.
I appreciate you, Rich. Be safe, bro.
Thank you, guys. You as well.
Tell the wife to hi.
What's up, boys?
What up?
Quick, what up, though?
Now, I'm gonna try to put this, okay? Now, isn't it interesting? Right after United States Supreme Court makes a ruling that makes the New York versus Bruin case allow concealed carry, and right now the Supreme Court is very pro 2A.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it surprising how this mass shooting happened in Highland Park in a very affluent neighborhood? Number two, I'm going to put it out there and you guys come to the conclusion you want. This guy, and I've watched a lot of different, not news outlets, but on YouTube and different information outlets, because I don't think media is putting out perfect 100% information out there. I think they're putting out this. I heard driving back from the farm about 11 o'clock that there was a mass shooting in Highland Park. I'm like, okay, well, it sounds fucked up. And immediately they described the shooter as being a white male, 18 to 20 years old. Right away, that struck a bell with me. I was like, how the hell do they
know so fast?
How the hell do they know? Within 2 years. Bro, how old do I look? How old does Real Deal look? How old do you look? What?
20.
Years I can say?
Terrible question.
Come on.
20.
And they say that he was dressed in a woman's outfit. And they have supposedly video surveillance of him in a woman's outfit.
Right.
How the hell did they describe him as an 18 to 20-year-old white male?
Right. And he's wearing a dress and lipstick.
And then additional information. If this guy, he did everything to get caught. So you're telling me you're going to buy an AR-15 under your name, shoot up 90 rounds, and leave the fucking gun?
Leave the gun there,
and knowing
and then
and you know how easy it is to break down an AR.
Right.
10 seconds. You know what? If you really want to get away with it, leave the upper, take the serialized part, throw in a backpack, come down, and they say supposedly that he walked all the way over to his mother's house. Okay, he blended in with the rest of the people. If that's the case, then he could have had a backpack and went there and potentially gotten away without leaving the prime
Right.
weapon. So once you start to delve into a lot of this information, it doesn't quite jive in my head that it was exactly as they say it is, like so many other highlighted events in this country and throughout the history of the world.
Okay, so by that logic, I'm curious to know how deep down the rabbit hole we're going to go. What are you saying?
He's saying placement.
And
they put him there, real. They put him there.
He was activated.
They put him there.
Exactly.
If that's the case, what's the benefit to leaving them alive?
All right, I had that answer.
I got that answer.
I had the answer. Real good. May I?
New York City, what's up, brother?
I'm chilling, kid. I'm back off the vacays. I'm back.
Rodney.
Chilling, everybody. Bless up to everybody. High profile arrests are never put down. Hot Tub, I understand, like, you may feel a certain way about the brother in Ohio versus this guy and the shooter in Buffalo and the shooter in NYC. High profile killers never get put down. They rarely do. They rarely do.
You know what?
They love the
Jump in
purple.
real quick.
They love the purple. I don't know if it's from NYC.
Didn't they blow the brother up? Didn't they blow the brother up?
Michael Johnson.
Yeah.
What's the percentages?
Dorian up in California.
What's the percentages?
Richard Donor.
No. Donor was on some next. He was gonna expose too much. But what's the percentages on that perp walk? Because
I'm not even going on percentages. I'm going off of crime.
Bro, we gotta do numbers. We can't front. Numbers do count.
One black shooter. One on a high profile black shooter. Only one walked away. That was here in Atlanta. That was the dude that got the courthouse.
ATL, the DC sniper. I remember Colin Ferguson in New York. I remember the brother the other day. It does happen. You know what it is?
Few and far between.
No, it's not, son.
I'm not saying that the government don't do it. I believe that dude in New York was the
one that the dude was alone. He was alone.
I don't believe he did. This elderly black man went in here.
Nah, he was alone, son. He was alone because he was trying to body everybody in that train car, from black, white.
He missed every single person. I don't even racial issue.
Bro.
I'm just saying that how the response. My whole point in this whole thing. I'm not even arguing the fact if it's some government shit or not. I'm saying the police response, and that's what we would initially talk about. The police response when it's a black shooter versus when it's a white mass shooter.
You're right. I'm not disputing that, but they love.
If the response was the same,
they love the purple.
If it was shooting up both of them, I would have no issue. Because
Tony,
at least it don't look like what I'm seeing.
Tony, they love the perp walk. They love walking mofos down like. Look, we got him. Everybody get your phones, get your cameras, click.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying, bro, because oftentimes when there's a score, you can't find 1,000 pounds of drugs and float it to the bottom of the sea and say we found it and we killed it. Sometimes you got to put that shit in display. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but
they love the perp walk.
In policing, there is an implicit bias.
There's an inherent bias. Yes.
If this shooter in Chicago was black, he would have been dead. The reason why he's alive because he's a white guy. He's somewhere between 18 and 20, and he fits the profile that they need right now. Because right now, it's dangerous for 18 to 20-year-olds to own guns. And like Mike said, isn't it weird how the Supreme Court is 2A positive now, and all this is happening? They knew this guy was going to. It's not like this guy came out of nowhere. They knew this guy was coming. They fired him up to let him do it. They did it. And if you notice, back in the day, anytime somebody did a mass shooting, either the cops killed them or they turned the gun on themselves. They're letting them live now because why? If they're alive, it's evil, and they're more scarier, and they're trying to scare the public to giving up their guns.
Real deal, you're right. That's why I say it's the perp walk. They want to put them in front of that camera.
But if he was black, they would have killed him because he wouldn't have fit the profile that they needed.
Now, I do agree with you on what. God damn this damn thing. I'll agree with you on this fact, real deal, that they are allowing these people to do that because as much as the internet has been monitored, as much as these websites are monitored, there's no way in hell these half of them put it on the internet before they even do it.
You don't think he's in a chat room talking about?
I'll agree with you. They are allowing these to happen.
223, what up?
But my issue is with the response. Have that same energy that you have for a traffic stop that you have for a mass shooting.
But you know why they put on the soft gloves to arrest this guy in the Highland Park shooter? It was part of the plan.
That's right.
Don't you
needed him alive.
It was part of the plan. That's why they didn't shoot his ass.
They want the walk, Mike. They want the walk. They want the perp walk.
They want his face. He's a white young male.
Part of the perp walk.
Number two, as far as the Ohio shooting, yes, he ended up being a black guy, but when I saw the body, and anybody that knows me, I am not pro cop. I think cops, and here, let me preface it by saying this. Anybody who carries around the blue line flag next to come and take it, Molan Lobby flag, it is an absolute contradiction.
Yep.
The police agent is the stormtrooper for the government.
Yep.
Okay? So when they say come and take it and they have a blue line flag, what do you think it's a total contradiction. It's a hypocrisy. Come and take it. The cops are the ones who are going to be empowered to come and take our guns. Just because they carry guns don't make them necessarily our friends and pro 2A. You know how many cops are bootlickers and they'll work just for their pension and they don't care about the 2A or the Constitution or our liberties? So this is where I'm coming from. Okay? Now, as far as the shooting in Ohio, I saw the dash cam camera and the body cam. This guy who fled the vehicle, he was wearing a fucking ski mask.
That's not illegal.
No, of course not. But do you know, okay, behind the ski mask, what if I wear a ski mask? Are you going to be able to tell I'm an Asian guy, a white guy, a Mexican guy, a black guy? So the race wasn't a factor. The media is trying to turn this into a black and white issue. And you guys are falling for it. Okay? This guy, if I wear a face mask and you shoot me, okay, and you later find out that I'm Asian, and Asian people go, oh, that's Asian discrimination. No, it wasn't. At the time of the shooting, it wasn't. It later was discovered that way. So do you agree that he was wearing a face mask or not? Or ski mask?
Hold on. I'm gonna answer that, and then I'm gonna put something out there to you.
Ski mask.
Okay. Yes, he was wearing a face mask, but
at night.
Hold on. In my neighborhood, this is a style with young black kids right now. For whatever reason, I don't agree with that shit at all. But young black kids, they following some rapper, and what is his name? Pooh Shiesty. He wears a ski mask. So in my neighborhood, I know every kid in my neighborhood. They all walking around with fucking ski masks on in 100-degree heat. I don't agree with it. The dumb as fuck, but that's what it is. And everybody knows that. Law enforcement even knows that.
Tony, everybody doesn't know that. Let's keep it a buck. Every just because we know it, everybody doesn't know it. They don't. Let's not front.
I didn't know it
because Like I just spazzed on my son the other day, my oldest, walking outside, like you said, ski mask, a hoodie, we in VA. That son, take that off. You wildin'. It's 90 degrees outside.
That's they fucking fashion right now.
Nah, son. I shut
I
that.
don't agree with that shit. I'm
Right.
the first one to say that's dumb as fuck. You're inviting shit to yourself. I'm not excusing it. But what
Okay,
I
right.
that
So-
they knew from the tag who he was. He already had his tag. That was his car. He didn't steal it. So you knew the driver of the car was a black man. Yes, you did. Because when that tag came in, you got all his information right there. You know he ain't had no prior criminal history. So I don't know. Just me.
Listen,
I want to know what the fuck.
It's
was
murder.
the
I think it's murder. I do think it's murder. That's murder.
I think it's very excessive. But
yeah, it's overkill. Overkill.
Let
That
me
was
ask you a question though. Now, when we go back to the point of Buffalo, when we were talking about if you see something weird, say something or do something, to me that would be weird. And it wouldn't be a racial thing like Mike said, because who the fuck knows what's under there? And I understand that they know, but who's to tell the first shot is the person that was well aware of who was, you know, and if it was black or white, that ain't the decision for them to make. There's a kid driving with a ski mask that's armed, you know, they're going to react to it. How they reacted is fucked up. But
none of that is illegal, Billy. None of that is illegal.
I get it.
But
if I'm walking around, if I walk around
the state of Ohio is not illegal. It's an open carry fucking state.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, bro.
It does fucking matter because I'm gonna tell you why it matters. I'm tell you why. I live in an open carry state. So if you can use the justification that he had a gun and I'm in a fucking open carry fucking state, yes, you should assume that I have a gun. All police officers in open carry state, you should assume that I have a gun because it's my constitutional right to have one.
You're dealing with Babylon, son. You come on, B. It's
they're not putting their rights together.
And therein lies my fucking problem.
Oh, do you know how fast somebody can come from the waist and put a and bring a gun up and shoot you?
2
so
seconds.
if they're responding, okay, 2 shots fired, and if they're responding to an armed guy, if I tell you to stop as a police officer or as a civilian, if I see you as a threat, and you're right, people have guns and it's an open carry state, whatever, okay? But if I tell you to stop and you keep running and you make a reach for your waist and you bring your hand up, I don't care if you have a wallet, I don't care if you have a cell phone. Sometimes you don't have that luxury of time to determine what it is. Even as a CCW holder, if we can articulate to the judge or the jury or the trier fact that RGG came into we got in a fight and he reached in his waistband and he was making a movement like he was going to shoot me. And I end up, using my firearm and I put him down, let's say. And later turns out that he was reaching for his dildo. Okay? It doesn't matter after the fact that he was reaching for a dildo. It's the fact that in that moment I can articulate to the trier fact that I was in fear of my life and I was facing imminent death.
And
Mike, you know what it is?
I'm supposed to believe
the history of this country
that 13 police officers were chasing this kid, and this kid just decided that he was going to throw his life away and stick his hands down in his waistband and let them all shoot him. That's what I'm supposed to believe.
With a clean background,
I'm supposed to believe that.
History whatsoever.
Did you see the video?
I saw this video.
All 8 videos of it. Yes.
Do you see the kid leaving the car in motion and running away?
Yeah.
And before he came to a stop, the cop that was following him right behind him is saying shots fired. Okay.
Was not one shot fired.
Yeah, there wasn't a shot fired when they were chasing him. When they were chasing after, there wasn't no shots fired. When they were chasing him, there wasn't no shots fired.
No shots fired. They claim a shot fired. They never showed on video where the shot was fired. They never showed on dash cam where he shot out of his car, where he reached over his shoulder and shot or stuck his hand out and shot. You never showed that. If you'd have showed that, you'd be justified. That's all they would have to do.
Yeah, because if I saw that he decided to take a gun and shoot at a bunch of cops and throw his life away, it would be no question for me. I'd be like, he did something stupid and he gave his life away.
That's why there were 30.
My point.
That's why there were 30 cops, because they were responding to shots fired. That's why they were all pumped up and amped up. And as far as 60 shots, I'm gonna tell you something, bro. I mean,
90 shots. 90.
I've never.
All right, you know what? Time out. Mike, you are correct, because I texted one of my cousins who's a cop down here in South Florida. And he did say if there's ever shots fired, everybody responds to that one scene. But he did state it's overkill. He stated it's overkill.
Okay.
On that.
This is what I go through.
As far as overkill.
1 week prior, one state over, Kentucky, had an incident where an individual shot 3 officers, wounded 2, and the police dog.
Tony, we can't use state to state. We can't.
He was brought in.
Tony,
hold on.
We cannot use state to state, fam, because
why not?
We can't, be because different districts, different areas.
But there's most police training is based on. I forget the gentleman's name. I've seen him before.
It's one guy. I know what you're talking about, Zach. It's one guy.
There's a book that he wrote, and most police training, especially when it comes to putting people down, is based off of what this guy teaches. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, and the reality is,
he wrote a book about it, and it's that I can't.
You can't even use person to person though, bro.
I have to assume that I believe what the police are saying. I didn't see the young man running and reach his hands in his waistband. Because I have to make an assumption that he decided to throw his life away. I have to make an assumption that he was not intelligent and not knowing that he's a young black man running away from a bunch of police in Akron. He know about the Akron Police Department, and that he just decided, I'm just gonna throw my life away and reach my hand down inside my pants and have them blow me all to hell. That makes no sense to me.
The minute they put that out there, you feel bad for the brother. You feel bad for him. The minute they put that out there, it's like, damn.
I don't believe that he just decided. No. I understood that he ran, but I don't believe that he just decided that, okay, now that I'm running, I'm just gonna throw it all away and let them shoot me.
It's overkill.
That makes absolutely no sense that you would stick your hands in your waistband and you got police coming from everywhere, chasing from behind. You got cop cars over it. He has to be a complete idiot to not know that, hey, they're gonna kill him.
That showed him clearly reaching in his waistband.
You don't see that. You don't see that.
Zach, why the hell did he just not stay in the car? Why?
You know why? Because he's a young black man. He's scared of the fucking police. That's why. Because this is 2022. He don't trust the motherfuckers. That's why.
Y'all have to admit that we do have justification for being afraid of police officers here in 2020.
Even if he was stupid for doing it, Mike. Even if he was stupid for doing it, he responded in a certain way because there is a certain fear. Myself, as a law-abiding, gun-toting citizen, when the police pull up behind me, there's a certain thing that has been going off inside me since I was a kid. When the police pull up around me, there's a certain, and it's never gonna go away because I know the way that we get treated. And him, as a young black man who had a gun in the car, assumed a certain thing, even though it was legal, assumed a certain thing.
I'm gonna tell you,
it cost him his life. It's horrible.
I'm gonna tell you something. Driving back from Memphis, okay, I couldn't stay for a war show because I had a family emergency, and I left at 6 p.m. I was driving home. I was in Indiana, Northwest Indiana, Lake County, Indiana. And I was going about 100. Well, the cop said I was doing 100, and I thought the speed limit was 70, but he said I was doing 155. Okay. I pulled over. I had my gun right next to me, and I had a couple more in the trunk. I knew I was armed. I knew that I knew that the cop was going to be on edge. Okay. He came to me, and somehow he must have ran my plates, whatever, knew that I was a concealed carry holder. He's like, do you have your gun? I go, yes. And before he approached me, my hands were in a 10 and 2 position. I put on my dome light to make that motherfucker feel at ease, okay? Because I know what could happen on the street. I put my hands on 10-2, even though I was right. Well, maybe not for speeding, but I didn't want to give him no chance to take my fucking life. You feel me?
Guys, if you've been injured in a car accident, you have to.
I turned the light on. He asked me, "Do you have a firearm?" I said, "Yes." He goes, "Where?" "Right here." I didn't reach for it. I told him where it was. He goes, "All right, give me your license, your concealed carry license and insurance." I gave it to him. He's like, "You know what? I'm going to go to the back. I'm going to run your name. Okay? I want you to put your hands out the window." I go, this is retarded, but okay. I put my hands out there so that he could see my hands.
Right.
Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Listen, as far as overkill or not, you know, we train. I mean, even as EDC guys, okay, a 9mm round in the chest, right in the heart, isn't gonna stop you from moving. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. It takes time for somebody to stop moving and stop being a threat. At that point in time, you got 10 cops taking, let's say, 6 cops taking 10 shots or 10 cops taking 6 shots. Multiply that. That's 60. Okay. Now they're all responding individually. They're not like, okay, you know what? I got 13 guys. Let these 3 guys shoot and I'll take a back seat. They were all responding to it. And listen, I am not a cop bootlicker. You have to understand my mindset. But you got to also see that there's always 3 sides to the story. Your side, my side, and somewhere in the middle, the truth.
Okay. And
so
this is my point of view on it.
For you to be so emotional, and I understand that. I understand the history of this fucking country. I understand the plight of the black people. I get it. Okay? But sometimes we have to, or you guys, whatever, us minorities, we have to take an accountability for our actions and understand that when it comes to that account, and me as a law-abiding citizen, even when I'm getting pulled over for a seatbelt violation, I don't like it, and I get nervous. Okay, but
my whole issue is, if that's the energy that we're going to have, if we're going to be everything to neutralize the threat, then have that shit across the board with every incident.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's the thing too, Mike. When that cop pulled you over, he didn't look at you the same way he looked at me. And he would look at me. There's a difference. There is a bias there that he's not gonna look at you and look at me and think the same thing.
Zach, trust me. You're talking to now. You don't know my full story, but you're talking to a guy that when I went to college, I almost joined the black fraternity. Okay, I almost joined Kappa Alpha Psi. I used to go to all the step shows. Okay, like you're talking to a guy that gets it. Okay, but at the same time, you have to take responsibility for your actions. Now, the overreach, whatever, like, I don't know why the kid in Ohio did what he did. I don't know. Okay, maybe he had drugs. Maybe I don't know.
Nope, he didn't have drugs.
When I think about it, because you asked, like why would he run? Because there is a true fear of you may lose your life. That's why, and that's the thing that I think everybody discounts. Because you say, how come you would run? Because there could be a true fear.
Do you think you get away with 13 cops by running away? Or
let me tell you something. When someone is in fear for their life,
living by sticking your hands out the window, and
he might not have thought that. I don't know if he was scared enough. I don't know what his experiences were with the police or what happened. He might not have thought that. He might have truly feared for his life and figured, I need to get away.
But let me address this comment that I put on the screen right. Because it says, should they have shot him that many times? No.
Absolutely.
Compare someone who ran with someone that surrendered. Now I need to know if this comment is relative to the kid in Akron versus the kid in Highland Park. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, because if you are, I think that's a weird ass comment to make.
And the guy in Highland Park didn't surrender.
It was a chase. It was a chase.
He was caught.
He ran. Yeah, he ran.
I think he didn't shot. Not one shot was fired. So he ran. And he didn't.
I think he's saying. Sorry, Tony, I mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I think the question is it's different that he got shot 13 times because he ran. It'd have been different if he would have got on his hands and knees with his arms up and got shot 13 times. I think that's what he's saying.
But you want to know something? In today's day and age, I guarantee you, most people don't think, it's just going to be okay.
So he's comparing the two. So you're telling me that it's justified to shoot, and regardless, even let's just assume that they don't know what color this dude was and he was wearing a ski mask. I don't give a damn what color he was. It was overkill.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what color he was.
Nothing.
The kid ran, but he hadn't killed nobody.
Right.
This other kid just shot up a whole parade. You know he's armed and dangerous. The license plate, the car, the description is all over the news. And you peacefully arrest this guy? Think about the kid in the grocery store. I still don't know the damn end of the story in the grocery store in New York.
Nope, they're not going to tell you.
Nobody ever tells you the end of the story. Like if he went in there and we saw the video of him shooting.
He's in Bermuda somewhere.
At what point did somebody catch him? Like what happened when they caught him?
What made him decide to surrender?
I never heard the end of the story.
They surrounded the store. He walked out, seen everybody out there. He put the AR to his head and was gonna shoot himself. And then he just changed his mind. Now one shot fired. Now he came out with the AR in their hand, put it up under his chin like he was gonna shoot himself, and they yelled at him some more, and he put it down.
And once he lifted that gun to go raise it, like he was going to raise it no matter how,
he should have been.
I just cannot believe that if he was a black guy, they wouldn't have shot his ass down to the ground.
And I
cannot believe that.
I won't argue that
because he raised that. Just because he raised that gun,
these white guys
I can't believe that.
You know what?
They need a face. They need a face.
One other thing about the Highland Park guy on Twitter, he outwardly is wearing Trump colors, flag, whatever, putting himself as superficially as if some kind of a right-wing Trump supporter. However, when you look at what he likes, the people that he follows and likes the things that you don't necessarily see on the surface that you have to actually dig for. He actually likes the Democratic issue, the DC, all the things that's
let me jump in there on that.
All the things that's opposite of his outwardly portrayal. Okay,
I'm gonna jump in on what you just
said. That to me speaks of false flagging, and that also explains why when they thought that he was armed and dangerous, that's why they grabbed him the way they did without.
He symbol. If you looked at
look into that stuff.
I did look into it. And if you had any chance to look at his YouTube, he had a bunch of social media accounts. Any of them, he has a flag and a symbol behind him on his logo. That logo is attached to a Swedish white supremacist group. It is. They have him on message boards.
Right, but
talking to other white supremacists.
But if you look at who he follows Biden. He follows the CDC. He follows things and likes things that's opposite of it.
Don't mean nothing.
Yeah, you know that comes from keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Right, because there's certain people that I follow just because I want to know what they're saying and know what kind of thought process they're putting out, and I don't support them at all.
But let's just put this out there. Let's just put this out there for you can be a racist and be a liberal. So let's not say if you're a liberal, you can't be a racist.
Absolutely.
Why you calling me out though?
Because
that's kind of rude.
You can be a screaming liberal and be one of the racist sons of bitches that walk this planet.
And I'm gonna tell you the truth. The worst of the racists are the liberals. And that's something totally different. Just ask Malcolm. He told us about that.
Yes, sir.
%, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that this every time that there is need for gun control,
that's right,
mass shooting somewhere, and it's almost like clockwork. and people, and it's to me, it's not random. To me, it's not that this guy is necessarily acting by himself as a nutball. That's all I'm gonna say on that, because
that's right. And they always killed themselves before, but now they need them alive because now they're going with a different angle. If they're alive, then you can see them. You can see the evil in them. You can hear their evil coming out of their mouth. And so that would put more fear into people. Before, they always killed them off or they'd let them kill themselves. But now they need them alive because they're coming with a different angle. With it.
That's
what they're doing
however,
before ain't working. So now they have to try a different angle to get something.
If y'all gonna call it a false flag, I can't say that it's not a false flag. But what I am saying is, I want these departments to have the same energy that you have for these mass shooters,
Highland Park,
or have the same energy that you have for us for these mass shooters.
Highland Park is one of the most exclusive cities in Illinois.
It is.
That's where Jordan has his 10, 20, 40 million dollar mansion. That's where Pippen has that mansion. The reason I'm saying that is they needed something.
How many black kids died in Chicago last weekend?
A lot.
Exactly. And how many politicians are having a fit about it?
You're making my point for me. That's my point. They think by do something like this dramatic that it's going to galvanize.
That's right.
The state, that they're going to be like, oh my God, if it can happen in Highland Park, it can happen anywhere. And why was it Tammy Duckworth, one of the senators, and why was Pritzker before there's a funeral, within hours they're talking about gun control? Okay? And you have to understand, gun control, they're not controlling criminals. They're controlling people. Gun control equals people control. And that's to me, I think what this
emotions. It's all about emotions. You got to get an uproar. You got to get people worked up. It's all about emotions.
People don't get worked up about black kids dying in the hood, but they will get worked up about people dying in Highland Park.
Exactly. Just put it out there. They'll get worked up a bunch of white people dying in a rich neighborhood. That is an outrage.
Pardon me?
But poor black kids dying in the hood ain't a big deal.
Of course it's an outrage. I'm not denying that.
You know? I'm agreeing with you, Mike. I'm agreeing with you.
I'm saying the politicians, okay? They will garner more gun control votes when something like this happens in their backyard as opposed to somebody else's backyard.
Exactly.
I understand what you saying. I understand. I think that when I look at this stuff, I think the timing and stuff is strange too. And then I try to not to be a conspiracy theorist type of guy, but you can't put anything past the government.
Why is Ukraine considered being a conspiracy theorist? Why is not drinking the Kool-Aid that they pour down our throats being conspiracy theorists? Look at the 2 years of bullshit that we went through with the COVID nonsense.
I hear what you're saying. I don't disagree with everything that you're saying. It's weird.
I don't put nothing past.
I'm not saying that one bit. I don't agree with none of it. I have an issue with all of these Democrat-run cities that are the most violent cities. I agree with you that gun control is bullshit. I'll agree with all of that. Do I agree with the fact that the government does false flags? Absolutely. But all I'm saying is that when compared to the response that we get for minor infractions is absolutely extreme when compared to extreme incidents that other groups of people do.
But
that's the way.
If you're focusing an outrage about that, you're not looking at the big picture. And I'm not saying you're not supposed to be outraged when somebody dies, because you're supposed to be outraged. But if you're focusing all your energy on this and not looking on this hand and not looking at what the other hand's doing, you can get hit in the face. You know what I'm saying?
I'm absolutely always looking what the federal government do. I understand that this especially this administration is one of the worst in history. I'm not disagreeing with none of the facts that you guys brought forward. But what I am saying is that the response of I'll take Highland Park all the way out the equation.
Yeah, look at put it back in it, but hold on. It's all the same thing.
No, I'll give you another incident. I will refer back to the incident in Kentucky when this man shot 6 police officers, killed 3 of them, and a police dog, and he was brought in alive. Now,
was he a white guy?
He was a white guy. They beat the hell out of him, but he was a white guy.
So they kept him alive. Why? Because now you're outraged that a white guy got to live and the black guy got to die. So you're focusing on that. You're not focusing on the big
I'm gonna disagree with you on that, real deal, because that particular case got 0 media attention. 0.
Yeah,
it's not national news.
They didn't talk about it.
They didn't talk about it at all. Matter of fact, they're going out their way to sweep this under the rug.
Man, I heard they were rioting out there in Ohio.
Well, I don't know if they were rioting, but they did
They
have
are.
a curfew. They lifted the curfew. The mayor lifted the curfew or whatever.
Ghetto, I know you wanted to say a few things, but I've been cutting you off. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, Ghetto. I'm sorry, man.
Go ahead, Ghetto.
Oh, you all right? My bad for no video, man. I ain't looking pretty today.
I ain't never seen you.
You know. All right. I'm pretty much listening to a great conversation, by the way. But unfortunately, the weapons that are pointed at us right now is for another racial divide. And I think that's what everybody's getting at. But one side's got a lot more emotions towards it, which is understandable. They both needed to be smoked right away. As soon as there was a gun on them, both of them dudes needed to be smoked, whatever. Maybe not with 100 not both of the dudes. Don't get me wrong. I didn't mean to say both of the dudes because I don't even know what the other dude. I don't know what the brother did to even warrant that. My point is that one lived and one died for a reason. That's what my point was going to be. And that's so when people like RGG holds a platform like this to where we can have a conversation about fight or flight. What are we supposed to do in these excessive situations? We're always going to resort back to the racial conversations. No matter what happens in this country, we're always resorting back to the racial one or the medical conversations or whatever. I understand it's pertinent in the situation. I understand that. But if we're too busy talking and feeling our emotions, which they're not wrong, but if we're too busy airing them out towards each other, we're not airing out what needs to be aired out towards the fucking system that are actually putting these weapons towards us. There's a reason why that white dude lived and that black dude got killed the way he got killed. There is a reason for it. It ain't a conspiracy theory. There's a fucking reason for that shit.
Right.
Excuse my language.
It's part of the big
and
picture.
they are aiming. Yes, it is part of the bigger picture to where they need to continue this racial shit. And they've been doing it for forever.
Decades.
So I'm gonna say this. So if that's the case, and if that's how you guys all feel, then you need to solve it. But to tell
we all need to solve it together.
Hold on. You're telling black folks y'all don't need to be angry because this.
No, I didn't say that. I did not once say that. On my kids, I didn't say that.
Let me get it out. You say, okay, we can't be mad with the government. It's the government doing it. It's the government doing it. Okay, well then, you handle it. Because we've been telling y'all for the better part of 400 years that this government fucked up. So nobody listens to us, apparently. So now I'm putting it on you. If you think it's the fucking government, do something.
Well, I'm here to tell you
that's my whole
I'm a libertarian.
That's my whole point. It ain't about people listening to me. We all need to come armed up. So every last one of them. We ain't gonna win unless we together.
I told you, talking that talk.
No, look, look, man. I know.
Hey, you know what?
My point is the racial division is their point, though, is so one can tell the other, hey, you step up. No, you step up. No, you can't. And we're busy telling each other. We all know what needs to happen is my point. And I'm not trying to take away from anybody's emotions or anything like that. But as Americans, we need to know our place. And this is our country. It should be our system. But it hasn't been our system for 41 years.
It's never been our country.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Wait. Everything just went bad. I just looked at the likes on this live.
Oh.
Y'all get them likes up. Get them likes up.
Oh.
It's a great conversation. It's worth hitting the like button. Please, by all
Hell
means.
yeah, man.
We way behind. A few other people in here. I don't even want to talk about it no more. We can talk about what trades they making in the NBA if y'all want to.
Some other next shit.
Listen.
I need
at work they're making me buy non-slip shoes. Can you believe that? It's mandatory now because of OSHA.
You should, because what if you do slip and that hat falls off, bro? You don't got no hair to slow the flow.
Hey, you kind of top heavy too. You got a big old head.
I don't wear my hat while I work because I let the ladies see the sexy baldness.
Yeah, that's what that is. Shit is pink as hell.
I want to stop you from using the word sexy on my live.
Yeah.
Don't even say it no more. It just don't work.
Different, man.
Hey man,
that way I let the women see what hunk of men.
Hey man, look, I need you to make sure you got some steel plates at your range.
I do. Talking to me?
Yes, to you. I'm coming to shoot with you.
That's right. I got them. I'm weed whack this weekend.
I got something that I do want to say, and I need the 100 to 200 people in this live to listen fucking clear.
Me too, after you.
We are all in the two-way world. You can see on this screen alone, you got a mixed breed, you got a white dude, a regular real white dude, an Asian dude, and all types of brown up top. We're all in this shit together.
We don't sure. Nobody's sure. What we do know is we can't really tie him to any race, and that's why he don't show his face much. And there's stuff going on with one of his eyes. That's all we know.
So what I'm trying to say is this: is oftentimes as content creators, as content readers, etc., you have a lot of people that will put shit up on YouTube. Instagram is famous for this, and it's different occasions that happen in gas stations, that happen in the streets or whatever. And you're highlighting this shit for what? Stop it. And if you see somebody do it, like, you got to be aware. No, you're just showing some gas station shootout shit. Please leave a bad comment. Take this shit down, because you're doing nothing but creating a bigger and worse, deeper hole for two-way as a whole. I don't get that shit. So I know there's a lot of YouTubers that I know personally. Y'all, from me, fucking stop. You're making us look stupid as fuck. We need heroes. We need highlights. We don't need these lowlights. And you think you're going to get likes and hearts and whatever the fuck you do on Instagram or whatever, it's not worth it for us to all look bad. So please, y'all, leave that shit alone. I know there's a lot of shit going on in the world, and believe me, we're already looking pretty bad, and it's going to be shitty when we really lose them rights, when that shit really, really happens. So if y'all can, please, from me to every 200 and something people out there, if somebody puts a video like up that's just putting the bad aspect, the worst aspect, shootings and gas stations and delis and shit like that, leave a comment. You'll take this down. This ain't doing us no good. You know what I'm saying? If y'all can, all right, go ahead.
You know what, Billy? That was great, bro. And I want to piggyback off of that by saying we can be as entertaining as we want to be in this community. What we do understand is we all love firearms, we all love guns, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the positive, fun side of it, where we could go and do this thing for sport, Gucci out our guns, do all that other stuff. That's dope. But to show anything that can be looked at as negative or sending the wrong message is never good. And we can do this and have a lot of fun without sending the wrong message. And I think everybody, man, I just want to say this to be saying it, and you see me doing it, and you see my boy in the middle right here. I sometimes I call him Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, whatever. That wasn't racist. Either way, he pushing me. I'm getting out here training. All of my people are training. You heard Rich come on here earlier about the Mantis situation, because my goal is to try to get as many people as I can to get on board, to get more comfortable with their firearms, learn how to use them, train up. Everybody ain't out here to be a competition shooter. But there's a thing where I know this for a fact, and that's why it's passionate to me. Or that's why I'm passionate about it, should I say. I know too many people that own guns, went and bought these firearms, and really honestly don't know how to use them at all.
Mm-hmm.
At all. It's some of y'all in this chat right now. I don't know who you are. I don't know I don't know your situation, so I'm not talking at you, I'm talking to you. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to learn. I do it all the time. You can ask Mike, you can ask Zach, you can ask Billy. I'm not a new shooter by no means. I mean, I know how to shoot a little bit, for me. I know how to use my firearms, but there's nothing wrong with me training and getting better and really getting more comfortable and getting my family trained up and getting everybody more comfortable. That's the goal. So
we should all be trying to do that. We should all be trying to. We've a lot of us that we've embarked on this firearms journey, and for a lot of us, we live this. I don't know about anybody else. I can speak for myself, and I know people that I speak with every day know I live this whole firearm thing every single day. I talk about it every day, all day long. I live this. It's what I do outside of working and my family and other stuff. It is our
outside
job.
of working.
It's our job. It's our job as those type of people to make sure that we know how to. That we know how to use weapons, how to fix them, how to everything. It's our job to know how to do that in terms of firearms because we advocate for those things. I'm not for anybody's guns going away, so it's our job to do. It's our job to do that to make sure that us as people who say we love 2A, we love protecting our family, protecting our friends. That listen, we know how these things work, and it's our job to get training and know how to do what it is we need to do. It just is. It's up to us. It's our responsibility, even our job. It's our responsibility.
And when it comes time to highlight it, do it the right way. Stop trying to look fucking cool. Keep your shirt on, your clothes on. Women, wear the right clothes. This is a firearm. It's not a fucking feather. Please do the right thing. I don't care how famous or popular you might be.
Billy,
do it the right way.
Bro, relax.
And don't give your girlfriend a 500 and have her shoot it
sweating.
Because you think it looks funny when she hits herself in the head with the barrel.
Y'all getting too emotional about people's videos.
But can I just say one?
No, hold on. Let me holler at my boy Mike real quick. I wanna. He's super passionate about training and getting people trained up. I feel like if you go back and watch the live when I had Mike on as a guest about a week ago, he gave so much information in that live on simple things that people can do that cost you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's free game.
Put it in the chat, training costs money. Yeah, dude. I agree. If you're gonna train, even if the trainer don't charge, you got to pay for ammo. You got to travel to wherever you have to go to shoot. I get it, but trust and believe me, it's 100 drills and ways that you can train at home without spending one dime. And I'm gonna say, I learned more before we shot one round than I did during the actual shooting process.
Shooting doesn't cost money. Training doesn't have to cost money. Pointing your firearm unloaded, pointing at a light switch or post-it note in a safe direction, and understanding the take up, the wall, the break, and doing that without disturbing the sight picture that costs nothing. Learning to understand where the controls are, how to hit the mag release, take the mag out, grab the second mag properly, indexing it with your left index finger, and putting it into the magazine well correctly at the right angle costs zero. Learning to draw, clearing the cover garment, getting a master grip on the gun, presenting, and getting a sight picture, pressing the trigger costs nothing. You do that 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes a day and you go shoot a box of ammo, you will look like a fucking rock star. Rock star.
There you go. There you go. And I wanna be one of those that push that message. And like I told Mike, as I train, I'm documenting this journey. I'm video documenting my journey. So the goal is for somebody to be able to go back to see when I started training, 2 months from now, what I've been able to gain or what I've been able to learn from getting out training. But I train at home too, every night. I don't
Oh,
know.
it showed the last time I saw you drawing from the holster.
Yeah.
There was like no glitch, and I told you it looked smooth. And I even asked you if you've been training, and you said yeah. And it showed immediately. Within, I don't know how much you trained within that week that I seen you, but it was visible in my eyes.
That's dope, man.
Now we were working on transition, right? And to kind of liven the mood, I'm gonna bring something up.
Awesome.
You know, you were shooting at the 2 steel targets, and you were transitioning from one to the other.
Yep.
And it was like bang, drag the gun, bang. Remember what I told you? I'm gonna bring it out here, man, because it got a little too serious. So I got to liven the mood, and I back and
hey, hide the kids, man, because this motherfucker. Oh my god,
it's about to be a T-shirt.
Oh, this dude.
It's about to be a T-shirt.
If this is a T-shirt, you can only sell it at the adult store.
15. All right, so RGG, I had him run a drill where he's actually pointing at the steel target 15 yards away, and the other steel target was about 7-8 feet to the right of it. Okay, so on the beep, I wanted him to shoot the one that he was pointing at, transition, and shoot at the second one. And that transition time was about 0.7, 0.6. It was too long for me, right? So I described to him, and he got it right away. I told him, bro, you got to have a threesome with the fucking steel targets. He's like, what are you talking about? I told him, you're literally shooting one and then transitioning to the other one. You're literally having sex with 2 different girls, but one at a time. I said, merge that shit. Immediately, he got 0.4. All be interactive.
You just had to put it in and explain it to him the right way. That's all.
I couldn't miss. I say you dirty mother.
Even do the other one.
Oh, damn. Ramsey J, what up, my brother?
Yeah, Ramsey.
What's going on, RGG? Everybody, Billy, CRG was good.
CRG.
Hey, I normally don't come in here, but I just wanted to say, Mike, I don't agree with like 80% of what you said, but that's a good thing about this community because we agree on the 2A and we agree on like the gun stuff and protecting our family. People should protect ourselves. So, we can have a civilized conversation about that. So I really like that. Another thing, I was going to co-sign what RGG said earlier about Mike. I was standing right behind you in Nashville. I saw the improvement, like, 5 minutes from just Mike coaching you up and he was telling you how to hold, how to point, how to do that. Yeah, he talks like a sailor. Like, you can't be sensitive because I was right there when he banging on the table, cursing and shit. And I'm just standing there like, okay, this dude is intense, But I just wanted to co-sign and be like, Mike, I see what you're doing. I like it. We don't have to agree, but, I respect your skill.
That's dope, bro. That's dope.
But Ramsey J, why you sound like you out of breath, man?
That's good, though. You can have a dialogue, man.
He was shooting 2 steel targets right before he got up here.
And then the other thing is with the training part, I took my brother to the range this weekend, right? He's not a gun person. He does not believe in 2A and all that kind of stuff. And, he was considering about getting a handgun, but
Gave up, but what happened, man?
He's trying to catch his breath, man. Y'all give him.
He on your panel and Pornhub at the same time, and he can't do it.
Man, let him finish, and he gonna get back to his point.
He probably still talking to muted himself. Corey, what's up, brother?
What up, Corey?
What's up, brother?
My brother, what's good?
What's good, y'all?
Hey,
I was going to try to get in earlier to get on some points about the kid in Akron. If we can go back to that subject.
You got the mic, brother.
All right. The first thing is when the shots fired comes from the cop in the car, where if you watch the video of him when he said it, you do hear a pop. They also had a traffic cam that they see a flash at the same timestamp when he said shots fired. However, when they stopped the kid, he bolted, right? They later found that the gun and all that was in the car. The problem that I have with all of that is when you see him, even if he had a mask on, he made no furtive action. He was running. He was fleeing. At that point, we can't say because you run XYZ that is all bets off and you can shoot someone. So when do say we get the benefit of the doubt? That's always seemed to be the problem with a lot of these shootings. It's like there's never the benefit of the doubt goes our way. And I'm sorry, I don't care. You're trained. You're an officer. You're trained. You're not trained to shoot people running away. If someone runs in your house and they are fleeing and you shoot them in the back, hey, Mike, you're a lawyer. You know that you're going to sue. Somebody's going to sue you. So why do we allow the cops to do the same? And then at that point, they shot him 65 times and over 90 plus shots were shot at him. A fleeing assailant, as you would say, that did not reach for his waistband, did not do anything. He had no affirmative action. You can't call that a just shot. I'm sorry. Now, as far as my perspective is,
no way, shape, form, or fashion.
And I give the facts of yes, supposedly there is video out there that said the cop. I heard the pop. Seen the video where the cop heard the pop, and I see the picture of the flash. But still, at the point of when they shot that boy, he was fleeing.
That's deep.
What if he was turning around and give up? I mean, I don't get it. I look at it as it's a complicated situation. Like it's not an easy situation. But you've got 13 police officers heavily armed. It always seemed like they act like a bunch of pussies. Excuse my language, but that's what it seems like. You got 13 heavily armed guys wearing body armor. Even if you're wearing hard plates, soft plates, whatever, everybody's armed up. There's a whole bunch of you. I mean, you have an overwhelming force. I mean, the disparity of force is ridiculous going against whoever the fleeing person or criminal, whatever you want to call them. And they always act like a bunch of cowards. Because he could have been turning around and listen, that's it, I'm done. So what are you supposed to do? If you run away, you just jump to the ground and just lay down and put your face in the ground? He wasn't given the opportunity or afforded the opportunity to even say, hey, listen, you got me. They just decided to execute him. That's my problem with it. Even if he did if he made the shot, that makes me think a different way. If he did that and he shot at the police, you don't shoot at the police. Matter of fact, you don't shoot at anybody, because if you shoot at me, if you don't kill me, I'm gonna shoot back. And I'm gonna shoot
Corey,
until I unloading the gun on you. So
it was confirmed that they were shots.
Doesn't make sense.
They have not confirmed it, but they do show on the video where the officer heard a pop, and also they show a flash of the traffic cam at the same time. General Killer, y'all see his comment? Look,
I don't see what he said.
Y'all know that says Gentile Killer, right? That whole name is scandalous. Sorry.
Yeah, I know it says Gentile Killer, but I don't focus on it.
You just because you run, just because even if he was a felon, does that give the officers the right to kill him? Last time I checked, force must be used. It's to if your life is in threat. If a person's fleeing, he's not threatening you.
Exactly.
So
he's running away.
Just because you have a felony does not give the cops the right to gun you down. Sorry.
Last I checked, this was America. Don't we supposed to have due process? You giving mass killers due process.
Yeah, it was they shot. They knew who they were shooting at. It wasn't a mistake. They knew what they were doing. I just can't believe that they just didn't know what happened. It's a lot of cowardice and a lot of bias, and that's what goes on. I mean, I understand that they do things to make us divide us and all that other stuff, but I still have to look at that situation. And I have to look at that situation because I got a young black son. And I'm gonna tell you something. If I don't even want. If someone would have gunned him down like that, I don't know how the hell I'm going to respond.
Don't finish.
I'm not the average person. I'm not the average person. I'm not the average gun owner. I believe in shooting a motherfucker if I need to. So if you kill mine, then I got to deal with you. And that's how most. And they do us that way because they do not believe that our blood is costly. And I believe this with every fiber of my being. If we do not let them know that our blood is costly, they will keep spilling it.
And
has anybody seen the officers? All of the officers involved?
One of them.
No, I haven't seen them.
I think there was 7. There was seven white officers and 1 black officer.
And also to throw into effect, the boy was dealing with something. He had just lost his fiance in a car accident recently. So when people say, "Well, the normal person," well, his mental state may not have been all the way where it should have been.
We have another attorney in the chat. He just posted something. If you see that. It didn't seem there wasn't any imminent threat. He was running away, and they want you to believe that he just decided that at that last moment that he was just going to turn around, stick his hands in his waistband, and just decide that I'm just going to give up the ghost and I'm just going to be out of here and die. That just makes absolutely no sense. If that was the case, why run?
Exactly.
He just sat in the damn car. He ran because there was a level of fear there. That's why he ran.
I would say this to the Akron police office: if it's nothing for us to be suspicious about, release the entire footage. Don't just give us the piece where he got shot up. Let us see what precipitated. Let us see the whole traffic stop. But they're not.
They never do that. That's why I don't believe them. Because there's been other instances where the cops were justified. They released that damn tape so fast, and they released the whole damn thing.
What's good, fellas?
Go, hey,
that's why.
Big Lock, what up?
Man, what up, man? But I just want to touch on something real quick, man. Then I'm gonna jump back in the comments. What my fly family said earlier is the reason this whole conversation is a topic. Do not depend on the media to give you the news. Anything dealing with the 2A community, if that's not what they want to push as that narrative, is not going to be pushed. What Fly said is the most important thing ever, because TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, us as advocates of the 2A community, we control the narrative that gets pushed out to the people that view us. So if it's negative, we're doing the same thing different news outlets are doing, because Coleon Noir had a guy on his channel not too long ago, and they broke down the statistics of gun crimes and then the incidents that get reported. A large number of incidents where self-protection is the case, and even brandishing your weapon was stopping a crime. That information never reached to the news. They only report what draws attention and what's going to get talked about. So we got to control the message and the attention around guns and always keep it as positive as we can at all times. So I appreciate you, Fly, for saying that, and that's some valuable shit, because that's how I want to control my YouTube, and that's kind of how I want things to be. I want to be educational. I don't have to pull into the stereotypes to make you want to be around my channel. I appreciate you, G.
To entertain you. No doubt, no doubt. I believe that strongly, brother. 100%. I'm glad you do too.
I appreciate it, fam. Man, to the rest of you guys, man, I just had to dress Fly on there, and I just showing the appreciation on that PSA, man. That's real.
For sure,
yes,
man.
sir.
You Big Lock.
Yeah, take it easy.
Hey, peace, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Peace, bro.
And because I was reading a comment, something that was said, and I mean, honestly, it just sounds fucking stupid. Because what you say was they were supposed to let him run away and take and kill hostages for a carjacking. You're assuming you see that's some bias and assumption bullshit. And that's why when I saw it, I'm like, I can't not say something about that. That's some of the dumbest shit ever. You assuming that this kid, who you even know now, didn't have a record, had no record at all, didn't have any interactions with the police. Not even, I don't even know if he had a traffic ticket or whatever. You assuming that he was some sort of killer and was gonna go run and take hostages. So you basically saying that it was okay for them police officers to kill him. That's basically what you said without saying it, and that's some bullshit.
And let's look at something, okay? For shits and giggles, if he Okay, you got his car. You got his personal information. You got his fucking gun. You can find him. You just go issue the warrant, go to his house, pick him up. That's
Right.
too fucking easy. What they did was fucking overkill.
Right.
That's what they do.
I don't get that because that sentiment, whether it be a troll or whoever, there are people that think that way. They think that it was okay because he ran away when he was actually running away, and you can do that in this day and age of technology and finding folk and doing all type of things. Even if they had to let the kid just run away, they had his car, they had his gun, they had a bunch of different other stuff. They could have went and got the kid. They didn't have to. They did not have to. They murdered. They executed that boy out in the middle of the goddamn street. And
even the medical examiner
that shit was just okay because he ran, so it's okay. That's bullshit.
That's because they know they can do it. They can get away with it because not one of us is going to do anything about it because not one of us has. These protests, all this other bullshit, it's not accomplishing anything. It's not fixing anything. We're not going to stand up because we're not going to do it together.
Yeah, and
are you telling us? Are you saying about?
No, I'm not saying it to y'all personally like that. I'm not trying to be a dick or disrespect, nothing like that. I'm just saying they know they can get away
into the universe.
They know they can get away with it.
That's what I said. Running from the cops in most jurisdictions, and he's an attorney. It's a misdemeanor, and you shouldn't get a death penalty. You shouldn't get the death penalty there because you ran away. Now it's one thing you run away, and I've seen this. One you run away and you turn around and pull out a gun and you start busting at the police. They lay your ass down. Your ass just get laid down because you shouldn't have been stupid enough to decide you're gonna turn around and shoot at the police. But if I'm just running away, I'm not a threat to you. Even if I got a gun on me and I'm just running away, I'm not shooting at you. I'm not threatening you.
Agreed.
Exactly.
And we don't advocate. Let's get this.
And I don't advocate for that. I'm just saying, if I'm running away from you, and I'm not shooting at you,
if you're running away with a gun, you can shoot. And there's videos of people.
He didn't have a gun.
With a gun behind their back as they're running away, with the gun turned away from them.
But he wasn't.
Mike, we would agree with you if he had the gun in his hand.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Mike.
I understand how quick a person can go pull from the draw. However, if that person is not immediately have a gun in his hand, you can't gun them down. I mean,
does anybody know if it's legal to have a firearm with a full face mask? In that state,
that's illegal in this state.
As far as I know, here in Ohio, I ain't never seen anywhere where it's illegal to have on a mask when you have the firearm. They actually talked about that type of stuff during the whole pandemic thing because there was a big thing about that with because people had on masks and they carried guns. There was never any prohibition.
It is
illegal.
But see, that's the thing, Bill. It's since they made masks mandatory in most states, in certain places, masks still mandatory. So people are going to be wearing masks. And you're in an open carry state. So you should assume, and this goes for every police department that's in an open carry state, you should already assume, no matter if I got a mask on, no matter if I'm purple, blue, yellow, black, white, whatever, you should assume I have a firearm.
And two, Tony, to just take it further, it's a constitutional. Ohio is now it's a constitutional carry state. Mm-hmm. Meaning that you can have a concealed handgun in your car, you can have it on yourself, not just an open carry state. We're past that now. Now it's a constitutional.
And that does not make having it a criminal act anymore.
Right.
That was one of the reasons why they went to that.
The only thing I had to say is the positive thing that that Billy was saying is all good, but the controlling the dialogue that we produce. It doesn't worry about just the media or our social media presence, but also as we conduct ourselves every day. Police pull over, like Mike said, you got to follow a protocol. We have to follow big firearm owners and carriers. We have to follow an even stricter protocol, especially if your skin is a certain type of color or you are of a minority or whatever your case may be. Your shit got to be on top. You have to control your dialogue because not only your life is on the line, but you got to think about other people's fear for their lives and how they're going to respond. Mm-hmm. So that's all I had to talk about. But this is great.
Armel, thank
Roadblock.
you.
What's
I'm
good,
curious
fellas?
to hear this roadblock.
What's good, fellas?
What's happening, bro?
What up?
Yeah, man.
What up, bro?
What's up, RGG? Huh?
What's up, bro?
None.
Yeah,
Nice weather, man.
yeah. Hey, I'm about to go to work. I'm about to go to work, man.
What's going
About
on
to go
with
to work in a minute.
All right.
What's up, RGG? Zach, Hot Tub, Arnell, Mike, Billy. What's
Yeah,
good?
you do it.
Everybody.
You just said the same thing twice.
I'm not telling you what's up no more, man. I said it 3 times. Goddamn, give me
I wanted to individually say what's up to everybody because I
You know, he
respect
can't
everybody.
think straight when that tight ass beanie on his head. Go ahead.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm working from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. and I really don't sleep, so it is what it is. So I live in Toledo, and I know a lot of folks in Akron. The Akron Police Department is probably one of the most racist police departments in Ohio. You can tell a lot of the cops were amped up. It was just when you shoot over 90 rounds at somebody, that is a level of not when you say overkill, you kind of gloss over the real meat and potatoes of it. You got to dig deeper. You got to go deeper.
What's up?
There's an inherent hatred for who you are targeting when you can shoot over 90 times, because it was only 8 officers. It was 7 officers. You shoot that many rounds to unload the clip into one person that was running. He wasn't behind a barricade. He wasn't returning fire. He wasn't doing none of that. Y'all unload the clip. There is something.
There's a passion link to it.
There's an inherent evil when you do something like that, like an intent. So that's why the community, and that's why we as African Americans, Black folks, Moors, whatever you want to call yourself, that's why we have a side eye when it comes to instances like this, because when you can pick up a church shooter and then take him to Burger King after he been killed a whole congregation of worshiping Black folks, and then take him to Burger King, right? With no incident, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you got folks like us who literally a traffic stop. There's no reason to chase this dude. Why you chase? Chicago just implemented the law where I don't agree with her all the time, but she just said we not chasing folks because in most cases bad things happen when you chase people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot in most situations when cops chase you, something bad about to happen.
Right.
So if it's a misdemeanor or some shit, it's a regular traffic stop, he running we not pursuing. Now, if it's a known felony, he done committed a crime, he in the commission of a felony, that's fine.
All those cops that did respond, realize I have no sympathy for them. They'll get dealt with when they get to where they're going in life. But they didn't respond to a traffic stop. They responded to shots fired.
Shots fired. So
that's a whole different energy that they come out there with.
I still don't believe that because I didn't hear the shot on the camera, and all I saw was a flash. That flash could have been anything. So
yeah, but I'm talking about the responding officer.
Not to mention when they shot him, he wasn't shooting at them. He was running.
He was not armed at the time.
It's not like he turned around and was trying to.
When they say he reached for his waistband, when I hear cop, that's cop talk.
That is cop talk.
That's cop talk. So when you hear cop, that's when a cop says he reached for his waistband, that's the same shit as I fear for my life.
Right.
That's the same shit as I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. Let's cover it up.
It's the same shit. Now, yes, a cop is a rough job. It's a thankless job in most instances. You got long hours, you don't have a whole lot of people. Like I know Toledo police, we supposed to have like 900 officers, but we only got like 450.
So, a lot of them pulling double shifts. But in this situation, a cop can't have a bad day. Can't have a bad day.
He's got to be held to a higher standard.
Yeah, you got to be held to a higher standard. And that's why that
if you can't do
immunity.
If you can't do it, quit.
That qualified immunity shit.
If you're gonna give them qualified immunity when incidents like this happen, it should be extra punishment added to it because your actions reflect on police nationwide. You kind of touched on something, Roadblock, and I want to bring up. They was amped up. So are they getting drug tested? What would they?
And that's the thing. And that's the thing. I've been saying that from day one. Anytime a cop that is involved in a shooting should be drug tested on the spot.
And the results should be made public because it ain't just cocaine. Because a lot of them and a lot of these police departments, and I tried to get my neighbor to come over here to attest to that because he's a police. A lot of them on steroids. A lot.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Officer Falconer?
What's up? Me, just here to give some clarity. About to do my own damn show tonight, which is funny about this subject, but.
Well, it's just when I listen to Roadblock, I listen to Hot Tub, I listen to myself.
Man, what you got?
See, it's funny because I've been a police officer for almost 15 years. And I look at this shit, and if those who don't know, from the city of Baltimore, and I look at this, and I'm like, okay, let's look at the legal ramifications. Was he trying to take a hostage? No. Was he trying to get a point of advantage? No. Was there a gun drawn? No. I've always tell a lot of rookies, time rules all. After a while, when you stop being a rookie and you actually use your brain cells, I'm not gonna run after. I'm not gonna run, even though I had to run after some people because hey, that's the guy I seen on the camera who robbed somebody at knife point. Okay, give chase. After a while, you're like, I'm not gonna run after you. I'll just walk a block down the street and knock on your door. Huh? How did you know where I live? Dude, you've been arrested like 13 times. We practically have coffee at your house. I mean,
work smarter, not harder.
It's funny because there are certain cops on YouTube who can't tell me shit. We're not going to name names, but you probably get who I'm talking about. Fuck him. But anyway, but fuck him 3 times. And see, I've actually been a cop longer than him and a much more hostile environment than him. And I'm a war vet from the Operation Iraqi Freedom too. So there's not much even he could tell me. And I look at this with a level head, and I'm always, as people always say, you're always the investigator. I said, yeah, sometimes, dude, I got to shut my fucking mind off because I don't even watch the news. It's kind of like you being in the Super Bowl and you watching ESPN for the fucking the score. I look at situations like this, and I really, really get amped up. Like, I've been pro 2A for 22 years, for God's sakes, and I look at this shit and I'm saying, okay, was there a need to stop him? What was he getting stopped for? When he's giving chase, sometimes you look at a dude and he runs out. Okay, is it dangerous? No. All right, screw you. I'm towing your car. Who got the last laugh?
Exactly. Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
In all the time that you were a cop, looking at this situation, and you put yourself in that situation, would there ever be an instance that you would justify unloading 60 rounds into an unarmed suspect?
Unless that motherfucker is on PCP, got body armor and a machine gun, there's no reason. You can't even, I mean, just one shot to him was not justifiable.
And that's from a police officer.
And it's people run all the damn time. Unless you see them committing a crime. I remember when I was working up there on 33rd and Greenmount, and I'm parking, and I'm just chilling, about to go in a 7-Eleven or walk somewhere. The dude said, "Oh, he just robbed a store." That's different. You give chase. He robbed the store. But when you have a car stop, and I don't know if the guy shot or anything, and I'm like this, and just to answer the question about what makes you amped up, adrenaline makes people that amped up alone. I mean, straight adrenaline. And when you have situations of sympathetic fire, which is that called, nobody took the term like, what the fuck are we shooting at?
Say it again. You said sympathetic fire.
Yeah.
Sympathetic fire. That's what it's
Wow.
called.
Wow.
That's my
Because
point now.
this is an example of sympathetic fire, meaning
Wow.
you hear one shoot, go to the range with your buddies, and just somebody just don't shoot, just wait. Just somebody just shoots first at the range if you're an outdoor range. Watch, a lot of people will start shooting themselves, especially if you're doing qualifications, because people are like, "Oh, I want to be the last one." And when you have that,
Let me ask you a question, really quick.
yes,
If on a squad, and not saying you, but to the understanding of any other officer that wasn't the first one there, if you arrive to a scene and there's already gunfire, are you going to participate, or do you think that most officers would participate, not knowing? All they know is that they were responding to an active shooter or shots fired.
if you're one, my gun will be. I'm going to tell you, my gun's going to be out. Matter of fact, I might have guns with a Z, but you got to actually be responsible for every projectile that comes out of that muzzle. So I'm not going to shoot blindly unless it's a situation where you have a wounded officer, a wounded citizen, and we got to do suppressive fire to keep his head down. There's a million and one scenarios I could go through, but this one exactly, this is what you call sympathetic fire. You get to the scene, one guy's unloading his magazine, then the other guy's doing the same. Then, I mean, let's think about it, right? In Baltimore Police Department, we carry what? Glock 22, which is 40 caliber. About 14 rounds in each magazine, so that's 42 rounds. So you're basically emptying out. Let's say there was 10 motherfuckers, or 5 or 7. You're basically emptying out more rounds than what most off like 3 officers will probably carry. And then it was multiple officers. Like, nobody said what the fuck we're shooting at. Like, okay, is everybody okay?
Not one of them.
And I'm one of them people who says, look, I'm eliminate the force, the threat to who myself or someone else. And I'm like, was there a threat? Was there imminent danger? No. And that's where people are gonna fry. Of course, that they're gonna have a lot of explaining to do. It's gonna be a lot of people fired, a lot of people civilly charged and criminally charged because of this. And I'm looking at it because we go back a few days ago to the 4th. I forget which city it happened or what state, but I'm looking how this motherfucker can get a fucking AR-15, start shooting in the crowd, and he walks away alive. I'm sorry, nope. And it's always, and this is the picture I've gotten from a lot of these places like Uvalde and Boston that were the more recent ones in this one. When I actually saw the footage of the Boston one, with my lifestyle and the things I've done for my career, very few things disturb me. That was disturbing as fuck. That was disturbing. And this guy in Boston was taken alive, but a car stop. You don't know if he's armed or not. And if he was armed, guess what? You park a safe distance and you use your speaker, or you yell. Time, distance, and time is king. But you don't go, okay, he's running. Is he posing a threat? No. Okay, fuck him then. We'll come get him. We'll write up a warrant. That's what warrants are for. And I'm looking at this because I've always said it, and people who frequent my channel, myself and Professor Cerulean Gray, we made up a initiative for young black men to join the police department, fire department, and the military. Because I'm sorry, there are some people who don't understand. And when you get to these police departments, I've noticed there's a culture shock. And a lot of people don't want to admit the shit. There's a big culture shock. When you have some people who've only met black people through television, and the first time you come to Baltimore, which is roughly 65-70% black, and a lot of people keep saying, well, no, there's no racism. Bullshit. Even if you're not racist, but people have preconceived notions of different cultures. You don't know until you invest yourself into it. And a lot of it stems from, okay, why can't you have a police department from within the city? Why are you going to Pennsylvania? Why are you going to Puerto Rico? Why are you going to all these other places? You can't get anybody from your own city, or you don't want anybody from your own city.
They don't. They can get people from that particular city. You can get people from.
Well, no, there's no racism. Bullshit.
Let me ask you something. Would your analysis of what you would have done change if you know for a fact that the guy shot at the police?
Say that again.
Would your analysis of not chasing the guy, would that change if you knew, let's just assume for this argument that you know for a fact that he shot at the cop who was trying to stop him, and the cop radios shots fired? Would your analysis of letting him run away and get a warrant, would that change, or would you actively go after the guy?
It depends, because if shots fired, one, I'm gonna make sure the officer's okay before all. Then on top of that, you have a helicopter. You have multiple units. You give a description. You give a description of the vehicle. If the vehicle's still on, if the vehicle's ongoing. If he comes out a car and he shot, guess what? You know, he shot at me now. Okay, we could take this a little bit differently. Because if he shot at the police, because we had an incident in Baltimore a few years ago where it was a teenager. As a matter of fact, one of the wrestlers I coached knew the kid. He went to his school. And he was running from the police, and he turned trying to pull the gun, and the cop put several in him. And unfortunately, you know, he passed, but that's a totally different subject. If he did shot, because guess what? You have to have evidence. Okay, shots fired. Is he shooting down? If he came out of that car, guns blazing, okay, you got a totally different situation.
Hey, baby. So I just had a quick thing.
Crazy, what up?
Ain't too much. What's going on with y'all?
Baby, I don't know why that happened.
I've been in here just listening and everything. And the one point I just wanted to kind of bring up, I don't know if it's relevant enough or not, but for that school shooting that happened, that guy ran away from the cops,
Yes,
and he made it all the way to the school.
Yes,
so why didn't they get prompted in that situation to let off even one shot to try to prevent him getting away? Like I think some of the other points are trying to be made when they're talking about somebody running away and potentially doing something else. Why didn't that happen in that case where, again, it was a lot of evidence on, you know, that he could potentially do more damage?
And he had already shot his mother at that point. That's why they were chasing him.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you honestly the same thing I said about people when I was in the Army. Not all soldiers and not all officers are made equal. You know, we need to stop thinking that we need to stop thinking
every person is, there's no universal officer.
No,
so every person that day, that second, their mind is different than the next, and they all ain't on the same field.
I'm going to tell you this. One, you know, they ain't cloning Jango Fett. Sorry, there's no stormtroopers. Our technology is not up to that par yet. So you have different walks of life, different experiences, different body types, different neighborhoods, different different education levels. One of the most eye-opening, almost scary things I ever remember from the academy was when one of the defense instructors at the academy asked this question: who here never been in a physical altercation in their life? Out of a class of 63, 15 people stood up and raised their hand. And I kind of like asked this question, and it was kind of funny. And I said, so y'all motherfuckers said, I never been in a fight in my life, but I wanted to be a cop in a city like Baltimore, and this is the first time I'm in a fight. I get punched in my face, and I'm going to get scared and react, and I'm going to pull a gun. And I'm like, if you get punched in the face, guess what? Like the Dalai Lama would say, it is wise to hit him back. So if you're not training, if you don't have the physical attributes, if you don't have the mental fortitude or the testicular fortitude, I've told a lot of people, get the fuck out. And unfortunately, there's a reason why some days I might have my 300 blackout with me in the trunk. I don't trust people. And I'm like this. I'd rather be prepared for war so I could always leave in peace. And unfortunately, we're in a state now where my female friend asked me, are you paranoid? I said, no, just prepared. And there's a difference between paranoid. Paranoia is fear.
Right.
Preparation is the cure.
Wait a minute, I gotta stop. I'm sorry to cut you off. First of all, about 48 seconds ago, you used the word I don't know what it meant. So that lost me in the conversation in itself. And I didn't mean to cut you off, brother, but I do precision strike you down there. I want to give you a chance to say something because I'm already at my 2 hours, brother. But I did bring you in here, and I don't want you to not come on here and cuss at us for a second.
Yeah, man. No, I was I was listening to this. I've been listening since the beginning of the chat, just to get my foot back in kind of where I've been. I've been out training, so kind of trying to get back into the 2A steps. Heard a lot of new laws and stuff kind of got enacted for those 28 days I was out. So I like what the officer, what's his name, Charles, said. I'm in the Air Force. I'm a SCO, so we don't have the same laws and bylaws that the officers have, but UCMJ does tell us, we can't shoot nobody in the back. I can't shoot you in the back if you're fleeing. If I'm assaulting a fortress, I'm assaulting a fort area, I can't shoot nobody in the back after I go through that fortress, and I can't come back out. If this person's down on the ground, I can't shoot him while he's on the ground. That's just the Geneva Convention. I can't do that.
Exactly right.
So with that being said, that young man that was down on the ground, there was a lot of things that people said in here that I was like, I think there's a lot of miscommunication. But the fact of the matter is, once you hit that person, or once he started running, his back was towards you, you can give chase. I can give chase. I can chase you down until you run up on somebody and I think you're about to grab them. Then I have to take into account, am I going to shoot you? But I can't just automatically shoot somebody in the back. I just can't do that. Even somebody comes into your house and they're fleeing away, you can't shoot them in the back. So that's just the law right there. I'm not too sure if that's law everywhere. Michigan definitely says that. I was also, listening and hearing a couple of things about the, I think we're getting the concealed carry information mixed up, or at least a little bit backwards. A lot of people are saying open carry states, you kind of got to have the wherewithal to think this person's going to have a gun in the car. If it's a legal law-abiding person, let's start off with that. If it's a legal law-abiding person, they're not going to have a gun in the car because it's a open carry state. Having a gun in the open carry state is against the law. That's a felony.
Ohio is constitutional carry, though.
Right.
Ohio is constitutional carry, and that just happened. Before, you all were a I believe, a may issue state, not a shall issue state.
No, Ohio is a shall issue state, not a may issue state.
I don't think it's either or now because you're
Right.
constitutional, right?
You're right. It was up until June 13th. It was a shall issue state.
Okay, so if you were a shall issue state, that means as long as you were within, I believe, what the borders of Ohio, you live there. It's kind of like Michigan. As long as you live there, you can buy a gun there, do all that. But I wouldn't, tell everybody that you should assume that they have the gun in there if they're a law-abiding citizen. And I'm saying law-abiding because law-abiding citizens are going to have the gun in the trunk, unloaded, like they said, quote unquote. I'm putting air quotes. But shouldn't say that they're going to assume that that kind of looks bad, and that makes at least the law-abiding people here look bad when you say that.
But that's, and I think let's make sure we make the distinction. There's a difference between an open carry state and a constitutional carry.
The constitutional says yes, you can have your gun on you at any given time. It's your constitutional right. That's what that's what it says.
And that's what state he was in Ohio is constitutional carry. He can have that. He can have that gun.
So he was, I'm not arguing that he was in the wrong. I'm not even arguing he was in the wrong, even if it was a shall issue state. Let me get that 100% clear because RGG knows I'm a FFL. I'll sell you pretty much anything as long as I feel that you're going to use it correctly and responsibly. My job, at least in the city of Detroit, is to make sure that I arm. My goal is by the end of next year, 25% of the population legally. So him having that's not the issue. The issue was that there was how many officers? 9 officers.
8 officers.
Let's say, pardon me?
It was 8 officers.
8 of them. So just like they said, I'm not really too sure what they carry on them. I'm going to use my FN as a example. I hold 15 shots in there. So if I shoot you and there's 90 rounds that went down range, 60 of them hit. That means 30 of them were unaccounted for. They just kind of flew off into the ether, whatever. If they're having 10 shots each and it's 80 shots because there's 8 people, somebody reloaded and shot.
Somebody reloaded, absolutely.
Somebody had to take the time and have the wherewithal to think that I'm going to reload and open fire. Now, saying that his 10 shots hit this person is one thing. Maybe his 10 shots were part of those 30 shots that went off into the ether. I don't know. I wasn't there. That's not my job to know. But like the officer said, that sympathetic fire, that, adrenaline rushing bullshit that, I think a lot of people get off on. It just didn't make any sense for this. How old was he? What, 21, 23, 24?
21.
He was a child that laid down after he got shot and they still shot him. That's where we have to get the idea of, this everybody with every good guy, quote unquote, with a gun is going to stop a bad guy. They deemed him a bad guy for what reason? I don't really know. And I'm not going to say the stolen vehicle or anything like that because you steal my vehicle. I mean, we're going to have a fight, but you're a cop. You're supposed to have some type of wherewithal to think that, hey, traffic stop, bad stop, whatever. But that young man laid there and died. He got shot 60 times. So that means while he was on the ground, they were still shooting him. There is no duty to react once the person is on the ground. Or at least that's what I was told. I've never been told otherwise, but I don't know. That was, that's been the talking point there. And then we also have the July 4th shooting where this man took up a perch and actually started shooting down onto the crowd. That's why wasn't he shot, or why wasn't the guy that shot the 3 officers shot? I think we all know the answer to that. There is no, I'm not going to sugarcoat this because they were white. That young man was black and he was a young juvenile that ran. That was, the most dangerous thing on earth right there is a black juvenile running. So, with that being said, the 2A community is just, we're here to I don't know what the main goal of any of this 2A, black, white, whatever is, but until you actually start using, you know, your firearms to what they were meant to do. And David Banner, my point is this. My point is, if we use the firearms to what everybody else uses, I remember a lieutenant colonel told me a firearm is nothing but a way to stop time and get a point across real quick. There's no, you know, it's a gun, it's a firearm, it's meant to kill. That's all it does. It doesn't have more than one purpose. I was just talking to somebody. I was like, if I'm over here asking you for help, hey, help us, and you don't do it, but I put this 45 to your temple, then now you want to talk. And that's what the point of the firearm, at least in my eye. Anybody else can, you know, bullshit, bark, argue about it, but that's all it is. Whatever we do to it to make it look cute, fun, and say, oh, it's fun, it's therapeutic, okay, whatever. But as you can see, at least up here in Michigan, there was a instructor that was one for a felony. He was out there teaching at a firearm store, and they walked up on him very nice, calmly, and grabbed him. They didn't have none of that shit, none of that shooting, all that bullshit. So he, you know, he kind of used the firearm to his advantage. He might not have known it was to his advantage, but, you know, if you start acting or start seeing some of these cops that are acting up and you start using your firearm to your advantage, then they'll probably, you know, start acting or chilling out. So that's my 2 cents. You can take it or leave it.
I'm
I
gonna
think
say this. Because a lot of people think that I'm bringing everything down to racial, and I look at things from life experience. Our lived experience as a people is different from everybody else's. Your interactions with police are by and large positive until pretty much you make them not be positive. That's not our story in America, and we're just acknowledging that. And I tell anybody and everybody, try to put yourself in our shoes, because you can never do it totally. But think of the history of us in America, and then understand why we ran. Hell, I grew up in a time where the worst thing you had to worry about with the police was them whooping your ass. Now I'm wishing for that time that we had back, because they killing these young men now. And yes, I'm gonna be passionate every time I see these stories, because number one, I got common sense, and what you telling me don't make no goddamn sense. You're not gonna piss on my head and tell me it's raining. And for when I kind of feel a certain type of way, because we're all gun owners, we all like each other. You know, we can agree that we for the Second Amendment, and to use the justification that was used up here that, well, he did have a gun. So fucking what?
I'm gonna say this real quick. That's
Wait.
it's piss poor.
I gotta. Unfortunately, I'm about 20 minutes over my time.
Yo, hey, listen. Don't do this. Before you get that, before you go there, I gotta clarify something.
Uh-oh.
All right. Watermelons produce juice, not water.
No, hold on, bro. Hold on.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Well, it's a long story, because I went to the store and I bought some watermelon water.
And then we discussed for an hour about
watermelon water
and juice.
But Billy said watermelons got juice and not water, but it's a watermelon. This gonna have to be another lie, but it's
say that was
which one it is. Yeah. Orange got juice.
Orange got juice.
A pear got juice.
Pear juice.
Watermelon got water. But the stuff was called watermelon at the Fiesta market.
It's watermelon juice, bro.
Yeah,
no,
thank you.
Water. I'm telling you,
it's watermelon juice.
It's watermelon water is the name of the drink that they make with the watermelon.
Then why is it not orange water?
We discussed this. We discussed this for about an hour. I ain't discussed.
Why is it not apple water?
I call Zach a fake fat guy, because He should know the answer to this stuff. We should be able to turn to him and ask these questions. And then Billy get mad in real life. Like, he really get mad about this stuff because he really don't know. Nobody knows. And Hot Tub, you said it like you've had a discussion with somebody else.
Right, like he know.
I'm a fat guy. I know.
No,
I know fat shit.
you're not a real fat dude either. Because if watermelon is juice, why they ain't called juice melon?
Just because it's called watermelon don't mean it don't produce juice.
We will discuss this in another live, man. Y'all gonna get on my nerves, and this gonna.
Bill, I'm on your team on this.
Damn. Yeah, we'll take care of that on Friday.
I'm gonna see y'all on Friday. Everybody think about this. Is the watermelon got juice or the watermelon got water? Because I bought watermelon water today. And that's what it was called. That's what it said on the sign. I told the lady, can I get a large watermelon water?
So you let them get down on you.
And Billy said, I told him I had some watermelon water. And he said, bro, that's really stupid. That sounds weird. That's like saying fried chicken. Just forget it. Just forget it.
I just want to know how much did the watermelon water cost?
That's the part.
The watermelon
large was $5.33. Unbelievable.
Man, you got down on somebody just got down on your ass for nothing.
Hey, man,
they gave you water, bro.
I mean, okay, well, I'm gonna give you a bullet. I mean, you can put in your gun.
A bullet.
I mean, by that logic, I'm just okay, cool.
So that means I got my my shotgun gun or my rifle gun or.
You got your AR shotgun, rifle, handgun.
Damn you, Officer Charlie. Detroit Strike, all you guys. I told
you. They have 223 and 556, so there you go.
It was watermelon water, man.
No, you
They
wrong,
got down on your ass. That's what it was.
They gave you water. That's what they gave you.
As long as it tasted good, bro.
They had food dye. It just said, "Hey, watermelon juice to the cover."
You got watermelon flavored water. That's what you got, bro.
Damn.
Hey man,
$5.
It was Mike. Hey Mike, you went to sleep, bro, and I don't like that shit. You went to sleep twice, but I'll talk about that on another day too. All right, everybody, get watermelon water.
Hey Mike. Good night, good. Good night, good.
Good night, good.
Good night, good.
Night.
That's a night.
Everybody, be safe, man. Stay armed. I'm glad everybody hung out with us, man. It was a great conversation. I will see everybody on Friday, man. Thank you all.
Peace, family. Peace.
Peace.
The hell, I'm gonna start my life.